Vamos ver Star Wars de Jedi Fallen Order. O único jogo da EA que me interessa este ano.
Jedi, over here.
Eu estou a gostar.
Imperial sap refinery lies dead ahead.
What does the Empire want with tree sap?
Nothing good. They refine the sap into a powerful compound, and they're rushing to expand production.
We have to stop them.
That's the plan.
Tiveram que ver a
This map we've covered proves it.
Mas parece
Here you
fixe.
go, bud.
Mas parece fixe.
These refineries double as brutal prison camps. We use those cutters to create a distraction, while you take your lightsaber and free the Wookiees inside. We need their help to stop
Esse
the
não
Empire.
considera
Understood.
disseram.
Watch.
Tão poucas POC, tão poucas pessoas de cor. E claro, tiveram que ver. Bem, vamos ver desde o início.
Jedi, over here. Imperial sap refinery lies dead ahead.
What does the Empire want with tree sap?
Nothing good. They refine the sap into a powerful compound, and they're rushing to expand production.
We have to stop them.
That's the plan. We don't know their end game, but they spread themselves too thin. This map we've recovered proves it.
Here you go, bud.
These refineries double as brutal prison camps. We use those cutters to create a distraction, while you take your lightsaber and free the Wookiees inside. We need their help to stop the Empire.
Understood.
Watch yourself in there.
You hear that? Said he needs my help. Come on, buddy.
cutters turned on. Are you running some kind of drill? We should call it in? Well, that'd be a breach of protocol. If there's a disturbance, their squad should call it in. Yeah, better do this by the book. Move
gonna need to get through here. Thank you.
Attention all units. We've got contact on troop station at cargo pad 119 Gap. Keep to your posts and stay alert. A Jedi. This is what I've trained for. Got you. I will make you hurt. You'll pay. Jedi. We've got them on the run. Keep pushing. Looks like you're blocked. I'll fix that. Never seen a trooper like that before. You gotta get these Wookiees out of lockup. Keep moving, Jedi. Vents open. Go.
Think you can help me, BD?
Flame beetles, they're coming through the wall. Hit their nest. Trooper, he's dead.
You sure you want to plug into this thing? Okay. Oh, a shortcut. That's why you wanted to get this thing. You had no idea that was there, did you? You just wanted to turn that cutter on.
Shoot him. Not an easy target. Find cover. Give me time.
down here. Some kind of webbing. Hey, who's that?
Captain, they're coming. Oh, this is it. At least we have the high ground. What was that? Cutter 7 is active. Reporting a live cutter near the cell block. Immediate aid requested. It's breaking through and destroying everything. Look alive. Don't be a dead target.
Jedi will be here any minute. And our reinforcements in retreat. Good. Sir, the fewer distractions, the better.
Jedi incoming. Ah! Got it. Get down.
Patrol the base. Got another breach down here. Some kind of webbing. Hey, who's that?
Just heard from the captain. They're coming. Oh, this is it. At least we have the high ground. What was that? Cutter 7 is active. Reporting a live cutter near the cell block. Immediate aid requested. It's breaking through and destroying everything. Look alive. Don't be a dead target.
more distractions, the better.
Jedi incoming.
You cannot escape. All Jedi will perish.
È fischio, sai? Era pensando un gioco. E lei si può fare a ferro. Guarda.
Little help. Need to slice this. No guards. Hey, we're here to free you. Not alone.
Visitation is not permitted.
Switch, ragazzi.
Games play best on Xbox One.
All right, Pokemon HQ, let's take our most...
Mi sta tranquillo, non te ne...
You thought it was going to take three. The completionist, though, getting ready to go down the chimney, and boy, does he have some gifts for Bowser.
Bowser's been working out. It takes more than 3 now? What's going on?
Bowser hitting the gym, eating some protein, getting some greens in his system. Completionist, he's on the swinging crane. He's going to take a stab at Bowser. It takes 3, right? No.
Oh, little did you know. Oh man, but these icicles are a very interesting way to be able to hurt Bowser in this level. So that swinging claw, I think, is going to be very useful in how they are able to do even more than just the 3 icicles.
9, rinse and repeat as always. You know how to get on top of Bowser, but now you have to be very careful. Is it going to be 3? No, with those saws. That's not the type of back massage you want right there. No. Bowser claiming the completion is Abdallah trying to navigate things. He's already gotten a couple of icicles on Bowser. That's only 3 though. How many more does he need? 2 more going down. That's 6. That's got to do. No! It takes more than that, 9.
What? Oh man, the completion is doing the same. Abdallah has his method here. Can he get over? Barely clears it, and that Goomba almost ending the run. That's 9 icicles. That's still not enough.
Let's see if it'll do with 3 more. Abdallah,
12?
Unbelievable! Bowser hitting the gym just like you, 9.
What's going on? How is 12 hits is not enough for Bowser? Where has he been this whole time? He's been training.
The fire keeps coming. Bowser does not want to tip it. Oh, Abdallah knocks out Bowser. Now he just has to navigate the swinging crane. A couple more icicles. Watch out for the saws. And Abdallah gets the axe. Knocks out Bowser. And that will do it as Abdallah is victorious. And he is your Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019 Grand Champion.
Oh my goodness. What a crazy last level there. The way you take out Bowser was so creative. Super Mario Maker 2.
I think out of everything in that level there, 9, the thing that surprised people the most, the 14 hits to knock out Bowser. We're all used to 3, but 14 icicles to KO Bowser.
And I think it's so important important to recognize how tricky the method that Abdallah was using was. Because every time he jumped out, there was a chance that the RNG of Bowser's fire would be there. He almost hit a Goomba as well. And as we all know, every time Mario takes a trip back to the beginning of that level, it resets the hell. And Abdallah standing in center stage right now, championing the crowd.
Well, we have a champion.
Vamos ver a reação de alguém. Vamos ver. Eu vou ver a reação de alguém. Em relação ao novo Star Wars.
So E3 has officially kicked into high gear with our favorite video game company of all time, EA. No, that is not true. We're not big fans of EA for some of their past things. But are we ready to forgive them? I'm not saying anything, but I want to talk about the brand new Jedi Fallen Order gameplay that was shown today. I'm not going to show any footage in here in case they decide to want a flag or whatever. You never know with this company. You never know. But I want to come in to say I watched it all and I have a little bit to say about it for sure. Honestly, I saw the original trailer and I thought, okay, that's fine. They're doing another game. It's going to be like, Force Unleashed. I enjoy those games. I really do. But my big concern is it's a single player game, which I'm happy about. That's the number one thing I want to say. I'm very happy it's a single player game, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous about microtransactions and, like extra things you have to pay for. I just want it to be like the 90s. Just give me the game. Just give me the game. Let me play through it single player and enjoy it. That's all I want. And it's so funny with EA. You always have that feeling like, okay, you give me a game that I like now, but what are you going to do? How are you going to pull the rug from underneath me? And that's how I kind of felt with this. So I've kind of gone in nervous. I really have. So obviously it was EA Play. They had, all the rest of their games. I'm just there for Jedi Fallen Order. That is the only thing that I'm absolutely interested in. And how was it? They showed 15 minutes of gameplay, uninterrupted. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. So it's Respawn Entertainment. So obviously your character's running on walls a few times. Even Greg Miller, who was hosting it, he did a great job hosting. Very enthusiastic guy, very confident guy. I give him props for doing a pretty good job hosting an event like that and keeping the energy high. But yeah, he made a joke about characters running on walls and stuff like that because I gotta say, Respawn Entertainment, I love them. I loved Titanfall, especially Titanfall 2 is a very underappreciated game. That game is amazing. The one-player story mode in there was good, so that's why I have a lot of confidence. I like this team. EA is the unusual corporation that it's always trying to milk things, but I think the development teams are really good underneath them, and so I have a lot of hope. And my hope was kind of fulfilled in watching this trailer. It was very, very good. It was very, very good. Obviously, you play as a Jedi. It's after Order 66 is activated in the third Star Wars movie, Episode 3. So all the Jedi have gotten hunted down. It seems that this Jedi has not gotten hunted down. He's still survived. And anyways, so it takes place on the Kashyyyk planet, the Wookiee planet, and there's an Imperial base there, and they're trying to liberate the base. And so your character's running around, and this is where we get to see the gameplay. And I was impressed. At certain bits were very, very good. It's a lot of running, and you can use your lightsaber. You can force push and pull. Those are things that we've seen before, but there was a couple of things that really blew my mind, and I'm going to get to them in a second. You also have a little robot helper. He'll help open up locks. He also enhances the story. Will tell you story bits. He'll heal you as well. And he's just kind of on your back, and he'll jump down and do certain things. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. The other thing you can do is slow time down. That was kind of cool, but I've seen that kind of gameplay before, so a lot of it's the kind of gameplay I've seen that before, but this is where I was kind of blown away at certain moments. I was like, what the? There's one point where you're like dodging stormtrooper laser blasts with your lightsaber, which we've seen before. But then one of the stormtroopers shoots at you. You kind of slow down time and you pull the stormtrooper into his own blast, and that's how he gets killed. That I was sitting there by myself and I was like, oh my god, that is cool. What I also liked is some troopers you're fighting with, they have their force like staffs or whatever, and you have your lightsaber and you're battling them, and at certain moments they stop in the middle of combat and they taunt you. And I was like, that is really, really awesome. The whole taunting thing was really cool. The animation, the characters, the environments, I was very impressed. This is everything, honestly, I'm going to say it, that I want out of a one-player Star Wars game. So I was not unhappy with the graphics, the environments. There's certain points where the stormtroopers are attacked by these spider-like creatures. And I was just sitting there watching that, and even the creators of the game, the heads of the studio, were saying that you could just sit and watch them try to fight these spiders, or obviously you're going to jump down and get involved as well, because what would be the fun of just watching it? And you can just kind of watch these things happen in real time, and I really enjoyed that. There's two things that I'm not going to ruin here. There's some characters. There's from Rogue One in here at the beginning and at the very end, and I'll save that. I mean, come on. I'll put a link down to the trailer, to the gameplay footage down below if it's online by the time I put this video up. But I was taken back, and I can honestly say that from the original trailer, I thought it looked okay, and seeing the gameplay kind of got me a lot more excited. The only thing that wasn't talked about, and I don't know if it'll be talked about at a later time, they'll have to talk about it. I was hoping they would talk about it. I was really hoping the creators of the game were going to say, by the way, guys, no microtransactions. Like, that's what I was hoping to hear. And I didn't hear anything like that. They didn't say anything. They're just like, on to Apex Legends now. And, I came just to make this video. And so I hope there is some talk about that. I really hope
Hey guys, here in today's video we're going to be talking about how Capcom will have more than one Resident Evil game in development for E3 2019. These are all the booths at E3 2019, which is next week. As we see, we have Capcom USA Inc., which has a pretty big booth than usual. It could actually mean they could have 2 Resident Evil games in development, maybe 2 remakes, or we could show off Resident Evil 8 in this booth. I think we're most likely going to be seeing Resident Evil 3 Remake this year at E3, or we could possibly be seeing Dino Crisis, which is a pretty high chance because it's been teased by Capcom, it's been teased by many others. Now, if you go on the E3 website, we have stuff that is most likely going to be teased at E3 2019. We have Forza Motorsport, teased for next-gen Forza. We have new Capcom game, rumored to be Resident Evil 3 Remake, or maybe even a new Dino Crisis game. Now, I have high hopes that this is going to be a Resident Evil 3 Remake. I have high hopes that this is going to be a Resident Evil 3 Remake, because I think we all would be happy with a Dino Crisis reboot, because game. Now, I have high hopes that this is going to be a Resident Evil 3 Remake. I have high hopes that this is going to be a Resident Evil 3 Remake, because I think Capcom really enjoys remaking older games for fans, and this could have been in development at the same time as Resident Evil 2 Remake, so it may not be a rushed game after all. Overall, I think the fans are going to love it. I think most likely we're going to get that and the Dino Crisis reboot revealed at the same time at E3 2019. Even if we don't get a Resident Evil 3 remake, I think we all will be happy with a Dino Crisis reboot, because hardcore Dino Crisis fans have been asking for that as well. I believe it was one of the devs that said a while back, if we really want Resident Evil 3 or remake, we gotta demand it. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on this video in the comment section below, and bye.
A ideia já está a começar com força. Um bocadinho. Olha. Eu gosto muito de ir à peta.
E3 2019 is imminent, and that means juggling more rumors and info dumps than humanly possible. In the internet age, no major reveal is safe from being accidentally leaked onto the internet before its intended announcement. And after Walmart Canada single-handedly revealed pretty much every game set to be unveiled at last year's conference, fans now expect the biggest announcements to hit headlines way before E3 has even gotten underway. However, as is often the case, not all of the biggest rumors leading up to the event turn out to be true. The frustrating part is, though, that it's easy to get these mixed up with the titles that are guaranteed to be there. And as a result, whether or not the creators themselves have ruled the projects out, there are a bunch of anticipated leaked titles rumored to be unveiled at E3 2019 that we can prove right now won't be there. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 9 leaked video games that won't be at E3 2019. Number 9, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Beyond Good and Evil 2 continues to be the weirdest game Ubisoft have ever produced. After years spent in development hell, the long-awaited sequel was re-announced as a mature open-world game, showing up again at E3 2018 with a community-driven project to get fan-created art to populate the title's world. However, Ubisoft haven't provided an update on the sequel since, other than reiterating that production is going well. In spite of that, the game won't be shown again at this year's conference to make way for other titles the publisher has coming out this year and in early 2020. That move admittedly makes sense, as even though it was announced a long time ago, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has only been in active development for a couple of years now and is still probably a little ways off yet. Likewise, Ubisoft is seemingly keen on keeping announcement to release windows as short as possible these days, which probably means that we won't see the sequel again until it's just about ready to drop. Number 8, Need for Speed. As a lot of games tragically are these days, the first confirmation that a new Need for Speed game was coming came from a report of EA's financial call to shareholders. Discussing their upcoming titles, a new entry in the iconic racing series was name-dropped, leading many to believe that it would make a grand return at EA Play. However, the game didn't show up on the publisher's itinerary for the weekend, and EA got out ahead of the disappointment by officially confirming the new title in a blog post. Brilliant, guys. Why are you like this? Written by a member of the DICE team, the post revealed that the game is indeed releasing in 2019, but that the devs aren't quite ready to show it off just yet, wanting to make sure the game makes the best first impression possible. Not having anything to show this late in the game could be a red flag, but considering how lifeless EA's E3 announcements have been in the past, remember Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, it might be best to give the title its own isolated showing to celebrate the franchise's 25th anniversary. Number 7, Splinter Cell. Ah, that familiar bitter sting. Another E3 and another year where Splinter Cell fans have been left in the cold because we can't quite seem to come to terms with the fact that Ubisoft haven't released a new game in this franchise since 2013. That year's Blacklist was a great return to form for the series, but it underperformed commercially, and gaming icon Sam Fisher has only popped up in the DLC expansion for Ghost Recon Wildlands since. However, that cameo was enough to get players hypothesizing that the publisher could have a new entry in the works, potentially to be revealed at E3. The fact that it was one of the few games to appear on the Walmart Canada leak last year and then not show up added fuel to the fire, as did a string of teasers by developers inside Ubisoft itself. However, the company has said that Fisher and his green goggles won't be turning up on Ubi's stage. But then, if they were planning a massive surprise reveal, they would say that, wouldn't they? God damn it, Josh, stop getting your hopes up. It's not going to happen. Or is it? Number 6, Metroid Prime 4. Nintendo have hit the ground running pretty much since they unveiled the Switch, releasing one must-play exclusive title after another and making some genuinely ingenious business moves by partnering with Microsoft. However, they do have one black cloud hanging over them in the form of Metroid Prime 4. The original announcement pretty much sent every Nintendo fan into meltdown, but development has apparently been very tumultuous ever since. Shortly after it was announced, development duties were switched over from Retro Studios to Bandai Namco. After another year in development but no new footage, the game was announced to be skipping last year's E3, although Nintendo did promise that production was well underway. Then, in January 2019, crisis struck again. The publisher revealed that Metroid Prime 4 had been delayed, and that production had been restarted from scratch, with original devs Retro returning to helm the project for unspecified reasons. That was only a couple of months ago, and it would be a surprise if Nintendo actually had anything tangible to show from the project at this point, never mind at E3, and might not have anything to show for quite some time yet. But let's hope third time is the charm for this game. Number 5, Skull and Bones. Speaking of delays, earlier this year, Ubisoft confirmed that their open-world pirate game Skull and Bones had been delayed indefinitely. Revealed in 2017, the title promised to blend the naval combat of Assassin's Creed 4 with the open-ended exploration of Sea of Thieves, only in a far grittier, violent version of the Seven Seas. For all intents and purposes, it looked like it was shaping up pretty well, with each demo looking stronger than the last. It gained a pretty decent following online as well, made up of everyone who had hoped Ubisoft would make an entire game out of the boat combat introduced in Ubi's other franchise. However, the title missed its 2018 release window and instead was pushed to 2019. That was the last we heard about the game until May of this year, where Ubisoft revealed again in their conference call to investors that they had 4 AAA projects set to release between now and March 2020. The only problem was Skull and Bones wasn't one of them. Instead, the title had been delayed indefinitely and won't be turning up at Ubi's conference at this E3, and maybe not even next year's. Number 4, Rocksteady's Superman game. The most recent disappointment on this list, pretty much every E3 over the past 3 years has been rumored to be the one where Rocksteady would unveil their next superhero game. The project has received an endless amount of leaks pretty much since Arkham Knight shipped, suggesting anything from it being a Superman to a Justice League game, and the lack of any kind of update has been a little frustrating. It's not the fault of the developers themselves, of course. 4 years between projects isn't exactly unheard of, but the rumor mill has made some players itching to get a confirmation as to what Rocksteady are actually working on. Sadly, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, as co-founder Sefton Hill has said that the team will not be at E3, but they look forward to revealing more about their project in the coming months. Again, that shouldn't be entirely unexpected, as WB Montreal have been working on their DC game for far longer, so it should be them who pulls the trigger first on their latest project, which is rumored to be a Batman title this weekend. Number 3, The Elder Scrolls 6. It's no secret that Bethesda need to bring the big guns to E3 this year. Ever since they shipped Fallout 76, there's been one disaster after another for the company, with their reputation tanking as a result. Not only did that spin-off become the biggest laughingstock of 2018, but even other more promising titles like Rage 2 came and went without much fanfare, leading many to wonder whether Bethesda, both the publishing and developing side, had lost some of its mojo. The Elder Scrolls 6, however, is the game that's been keeping fans clinging on to hope for a resurgence for the company, but sadly, they won't be seeing any more footage from that project anytime soon. Bethesda confirmed that the anticipated sequel won't be showing up at E3, and that it was only unveiled last year to reassure fans that it was indeed coming at some point. In fact, production on the sequel is yet to get properly underway, with the team currently in pre-production while the majority of the staff continue tinkering with Starfield. Speaking of which, number 2, Starfield. In a double whammy of no-shows, Bethesda have also stated that fans shouldn't expect an update on their original sci-fi RPG Starfield at this year's event. The title had long rumored to be the developer's next project, their first go at a new franchise since Fallout 3 back in 2008, and it was officially confirmed at E3 2018. Interestingly though, despite being Bethesda's most pressing project, it won't receive any new trailers or teasers at the publisher's upcoming conference. That could be something of a red flag, as it's been nearly 4 years since the studio shipped Fallout 4, and you would assume by now that they'd be pretty far along with the project, at least to the point where they had something tangible to show off.
Star system
what muddies the water a little bit is how much of that 4 years was spent helping out on Fallout 76, which was a co-production between a bunch of Bethesda studios. The publisher has said in the past that they'd only put on a conference if they had a strong enough lineup to justify both the cost and the time, so they must have something special up their sleeve if they're letting their 2 biggest games sit the entire thing out. I'm hoping for the Evil Within 3, but is that really big enough? Number 1, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. Rumours have been swirling all year about the next Assassin's Creed game, which, if the franchise's schedule is anything to go by, should be dropping late next year. The leaks have suggested that the series will be moving into Viking territory with the working title of Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, and that the Norse-themed game could be present at this year's E3. A reveal there might be a little too early though. Ubisoft have been committed to giving the franchise some breathing room between installments rather than pumping them out annually like they used to, usually announcing new games the year they're set to release. Consequently, it's probably safer to assume that Assassin's Creed will get an unveiling at next year's event in time for its release date. Then again, considering how many Ubisoft games aren't showing up at this year's conference, the publisher might just throw AC into the mix to make sure they have enough material to fill out an entire show. So that's our list. I don't know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you a little bit gutted that these games won't be showing up at E3, or do you still cling on to a bit of hope that Splinter Cell might turn up? I know, look, we all are. It's just how it works. We need to see the goggles come down and the... That's how it goes, Ubisoft. Make it. E3 is once again upon us, and with that comes a whole host of leaks, rumours and reveals that pretty much spoil every single announcement that the biggest publishers have spent months trying to keep a secret. Welcome to the internet age. That is exaggerating a little bit, of course, but these days it is rare for the biggest games ready to drop across E3 weekend to remain a secret. That doesn't make the event any less fun though, because while there's an overwhelming amount of leaks in the run-up to the event, not all of them always come true. Still, there's often a way to separate the fake leaks from the real ones, and if you've got a keen eye like I do, you can identify which rumoured games are guaranteed to be locked in and show up at E3. After that boast, these are absolutely not going to happen now either. I've mugged myself off once again. Either way though, I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 9 last-minute E3 2019 rumours you need to know. Number 9, Fable 4. A new entry in the Fable franchise from the developers best known for crafting Forza Horizon no less has been rumoured for a long while now. Months ago, leaks started swirling around the title being in production, and then just a few days ago, a whole new batch arrived just in time for E3. The most recent rounds indicate that the regular settings of Albion and Aurora are going to be destroyed, resetting and soft rebooting the entire universe so the new devs can go wild in creating whatever fantasy world they want to come up with. Microsoft are planning some pretty major changes to the franchise mechanically as well, putting a larger emphasis on exploration and doing away with guns altogether in favour of tighter melee combat. Even though it's still early on in production, Fable 4 seems like it's locked in for Microsoft's conference. The company have had enough time since turning the Xbox brand around a few years ago to start showing off the seeds they planted back then, and that should mean a whole slew of exclusives, including Fable 4, to get players interested in the future of the console. Number 8, Ninja Theory's new game, Bleeding Edge. One of the most exciting parts of Microsoft's conference is going to be getting an update on all of the great studios they bought up last year. They'll all probably be there in some form, but the only one really capable of showing off something new is Ninja Theory, as the other studios like Obsidian already have E3 is once again have had enough time since turning the Xbox brand around a few years ago to start showing off the seeds they planted back then, and that should mean a whole slew of exclusives, including Fable 4, to get players interested in the future of the console. Number 8, Ninja Theory's new game, Bleeding Edge. One of the most exciting parts of Microsoft's conference is going to be getting an update on all of the great studios they bought up last year. They'll all probably be there in some form, but the only one really capable of showing off something new is Ninja Theory, as the other studios like Obsidian already have multi-platform titles announced that they need to finish before Microsoft can get them to work on exclusives. Likewise, after coming off the critically acclaimed Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the studio is in a better position than it's ever been in, occupying the in-between space that separates their output from both AAA games as well as indie titles. While we know nothing about it currently, we do have a name for their next project, Bleeding Edge, which sounds completely badass. The studio filed a trademark for the title in late May, suggesting they're gearing up to unveil their project on Microsoft's stage at E3. Number 7, Borderlands 2 DLC. In what might turn out to be the weirdest entry on this list, the most recent rumors suggest that DLC for Borderlands 2, yes, the game that came out 7 years ago, will be released later this month and announced at E3. Now, dropping content for a game that old sounds ridiculous and a bad business move, but it actually makes a bit of sense. The rumors indicate that it's going to bridge the gap between the second and the upcoming third game, and considering that Gearbox just released remastered versions of Borderlands 1 and 2, with the Handsome Jack collection being this month's free PS Plus game, it would actually be a strangely good time to drop brand new content. The Borderlands series has never done anything the conventional way, and a gap-bridging DLC would be a good way to get people hyped and reinvested in the series in time for the third game's release. Even better, the leak suggests the expansion
really happy and pleased, and if you're bad to the island, I don't think they
may not approve.
It. Yeah, you know, so
like
just
sting in the tail.
Yeah, well, and we added some new traits with this pack that we wanted to really let, if your Sims are super in touch with the land or that's important to you, you know, they can really get in touch with the water or the land. And
the videos, it feels really inspired by like Polynesian culture. So how did you kind of go about kind of educating yourself to like bring that into the game?
Well, every time we make a world, we want to learn a lot about the influences that could go into that place, because it's not a particular real place, but it's inspired by real places. So short of flying there and researching it ourselves, we reached out.
Work that into it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, EA is a big global company, so we were able to reach out to a lot of our friends and coworkers across the company and say, hey, we're looking at exploring a place inspired by this culture.
Yeah.
And could you share with us some patterns or iconography or symbols or even items that mean something to this culture, so we can try and create them in a way that feels rich and feels authentic?
well, questions just like, what was iconic to you, or what do you remember when you think back to living in that place?
Right, and some of our specific like decor items came exactly from those recommendations, which is really cool. It's these nice touches that I hope make it feel familiar while still feeling like a new Sims world.
Yeah.
So
20-yard line, again, perfect passing accuracy. Lastly, no look data. I'm really excited about this one. He's going to have perfect accuracy. The only quarterback in the game at launch to have perfect accuracy.